All right, let's have a little chat. The Bears lose 17 to 24 against the Tennessee Titans. Doesn't look like that bad of a loss. Only one possession. I mean, hey, you can take it against a team that was undefeated through 5 games. Now you see the problem is the Titans and the Bears were coming into this game on a 2-game losing streak. Both of them lost 2 in a row. So at that logic, the game should be relatively close. Both two pretty good teams, a 5-3 Bears squad against a 5-2 Titans squad. We got this. I think we actually really would have had a shot if we could have scored points before the fourth quarter. That's right, the Bears were shut out until the fourth quarter of this game. The Titans had a 17-0 lead going into the fourth quarter. By then, I was just done. They had a couple good possessions. The problem was they weren't getting points on the board. There were times in this game the offense actually looked pretty good. A couple drives where we got down into Tennessee territory, but a dumb mistake or play call ended up getting a nothing. Early in the game, Nagy decides to go for it on fourth down. Dude, take the points. It's the beginning of the game. You don't need to start risking it you don't need to start risking it that early in the game. Needless to say, we didn't get it. No points on the board for us. In the third quarter, another drive. Perfect example. On third down, Foles just tossed it to Montgomery, and we're still in field goal range. We got a chance to put some points on the board. Finally, he fumbled it. Not only did he fumble it, it was returned for a touchdown. And that made it 17-0.
Hang on to the ball, David. Come on.
And the Titans, the Bears defense did a fantastic job saying, "Hey, Derrick Henry, you want to have a good game? Sorry, that ain't happening today. You're going under 70 yards rushing." It's exactly what they did. They did a really good job holding Derrick Henry and forced Ryan Tannehill to win this game, which he did. I don't know if I can trust this team anymore. I don't even know what to say anymore. Robinson had a couple, great catches like usual, had a solid game, but the rest of the offense at times actually looked pretty good. But once they crossed that midfield line against Tennessee territory, they could do nothing. Absolutely nothing until the fourth quarter, where they got some points, then they let up another touchdown. So the game's 24-3 with about 10 minutes left. It's out of reach. There's no way that they're winning that game. So the game is out of reach at this point. It's 24-3. What do the Bears do? 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns after the game is out of reach. It seems like this offense can do jack squat until they're down by like 3 possessions in the fourth quarter. Unless that's the circumstance, if we played like that, week in, week out, we'd be winning games. We'd be winning games with this defense. But no, the Bears' offense cannot score more than 20 points to save their lives. If next week their season depends on scoring 20 points, they're not going to get it. They're not going to do it. It's not going to happen because this offense physically at this point cannot score more than 2 touchdowns in a game. It's either 2 field goals or like only field goals and like 1 touchdown or like 2 touchdowns and a field goal. We're not scoring 20 points a game. We're not going to win games. That's pretty simple. It's pretty simple logic at this point with how the NFL's progressing with its more offensive approach. You cannot win a game these days. You cannot consistently win games without scoring 20 points a game. If we let the Vikings win this, I am going to be pissed. Not only because the Vikings have not beaten us since Nagy took over, but 2, Kirk Cousins has not won a game on Monday night. And everyone wants to see Kirk Cousins to go 0-10 on Monday nights. We all want to see it. But it doesn't it's hard to gauge at this point. It's hard because the Vikings have won their last two and we've lost our last three now. We lose that game, probably out of the playoff race. Because if we look at it right now, it is the four division leaders, who Lord knows who's going to take the NFC East. It's going to be either Green Bay or us somehow. If we can somehow pull off a miracle and win this division, at this point with how this offense looks and how now we've lost three straight. I don't know, man. I don't think it's. I don't really. It's hard. It's hard for me to say that it's possible. It really is. The South is either going to New Orleans or Tampa Bay. That's pretty easy to call. And the loser of that division race will get a wild card spot. It's also pretty easy to call. The NFC West has the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals are starting to get really good. They're 5-3 now, if I'm correct. Yes. And they have the Cardinals. Oh, and the NFC West is the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Rams, which we got smoked by on Monday night 2 weeks ago. And realistically, it's probably going to be whoever the two losing teams in that division race will probably both get a wild card spot with their current momentum and how well they've been playing. So for this team to get into the playoffs, they need to get their act together and start scoring points. Probably a good idea to have a different play caller because obviously these play calls just aren't working. Just head scratchers, a lot of head scratching play calls. I don't understand it. I do not get it. Why Nagy has to be this way. And so we have 7 games left. We've played 9 games. We have 7 left. 5 of them are against our division. We've played the entire NFC South and miraculously went 3-1 in those games. But we have played 2 games in the AFC South, lost both of them, and got smoked in both of them. So thank goodness we've got the top 2 teams in that division down. Colts smacked us at home, and we got tossed around by the Titans this week in Tennessee. We won't be going back to that stadium for another 8 years. We'll see you in 2028 when the next time the Bears go to Nashville. And speaking of the Jags and Texans, those are our only 2 games for the rest of the year that are not in our division because we played the NFC South. We've played 2 games in the AFC South. We've already played the team that we need to play from the East and the West, the Giants and the Rams, respectively. Now, we have the Vikings twice, the Packers twice, in Lambeau, which I may mention after the bye week. So we have this game against Minnesota. We have the bye and then Green Bay in Lambeau on Sunday Night Football. That game scares me not only because it's against Green Bay, but because it's on national television, and I have a bad feeling that we potentially could get embarrassed. Then we have one more game against the Lions, and then the Jags and the Texans. I would say we have 2 games probably that we will win against the Lions and the Jags. I would say that we would beat Houston, but looking back at history, the Bears are the only team to have never beaten the Texans in the franchise history. You know how kind of embarrassing that is to be kind of like the founding franchise of the NFL and haven't, pretty much the oldest in a sense, and has not beaten the youngest franchise in its 18 years of existence? It's kind of embarrassing a little. I really don't have anything else to say. The game was boring for me to watch as a Bears fan. It was just irritating and boring in a sense. Not because the Titans didn't do anything. They were doing a good job. It was actually pretty relatively low scoring, like most Bears games are these days, throughout the first half. But as the second half started, it just got boring. It was just hard to watch because we couldn't do anything. We got the ball and we could not do anything. We could not put points on the board. It doesn't matter what kind of points you get on the board at the start of a game. You need to get points to get yourself established and get some points so that if you find yourself down later, you can pull out the risks for those situations. You don't go for a fourth down when you have no points and it's like no 0-0, 3-0. Get the points. Tie the game at least. Maybe even if you... Oh, my... We're going to lose this game against Minnesota, aren't we? So I'm just going to end the video. If you like this, I don't know if you really did, because it was pretty boring. Not going to lie. Just me talking about the future for the season. It was pretty depressing, honestly. If you liked it, hit the like button. And if you want to see more, because let's be real, with how this offense is performing, we can fall real fast, and this is going to be interesting. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button so you get notified for the uploads. I'll see you guys next week.